All right. Hello, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well out there, as well as can be, given what's going on with the market. Hope nobody has coronavirus. Um, so we've been getting a kick out of this around the office. Is that this is one of the memes that one of our traders here, Sam, posted for us, and it really just kind of cracked us up because it is pretty funny that like everyone's like everything's on sale. Buy the dip. We got things are looking. Everything's like down. Just these are discounted prices. Go buy it. And then we're like, yeah, you first. Yeah, you first. So I really am just enjoying that for the day. And actually, yesterday is when it came out for us. Uh, so far, not seeing a whole lot out there. I just got off the Facebook Live, and it's like, man, I'm having a hard time really finding anything really good out there. I took a couple swings at some stuff, and not really capturing it too much. I'm going to show you a couple other things that are pertinent as far as today and kind of the market feel for today. In fact, let me kind of look at that real quick. Yeah, the downside is kind of backed off a little bit, but man, it's still just really heavy. It's just real heavy. Let me kind of show you this also. So if anybody is new to me, let me kind of actually switch this over. There we go. If anybody is new to me and wants to get more information, I got my 20 stocks for 2020. As I was saying earlier on this one, is that I'm sure everything has been taking a hit, but these are stocks that I thought would look really good for kind of the next year overall in their trend and their strength. And so we're just going to have to see that maybe when the market shapes up and when things start getting back on track, hopefully if they do, then these stocks I think will be really poised to actually take advantage of that discount and that cheaper stock and really pick up those good prices on that. And if anybody actually wants to join what we call the mastery, it's basically my alert service. It's where I communicate with everybody, and we've got subscribers. I tell them what I'm doing. I talk to them all the time. In fact, I'm looking at my chat over here. Got a few people that kind of chat to me throughout the day. You guys come on in, say hello, and then I tell you what the kind of the trades that I'm taking. You can choose to follow me if you like, and then you'll be seeing in today. I talk a lot about the Moxie indicator. It's how I trade. It's the indicator that I developed and I work with. So if you're interested in that and how it works and to get it yourself, you come over here to simplytrading.com/Moxie stock method, and I have the class. They have the scanner. We got a whole bunch of stuff with it. And we've had a lot of people really good reception with that. So just kind of check out some of these links if you're interested. All right, this is one I was talking about earlier. Let me show you the market, and then actually let me slide this over, because this is what I'm talking about. Today's just really heavy. It's going to be challenging to really find anything bounce back. Maybe price won't go any lower today. Maybe this low will continue holding for the week, but it's going to be hard pressed to really find some upward movement when we got this going on. We have 22, call it 23 to 1 negative order flow. This is some significant downside volume. People are still getting out of this. They're still exiting and selling and selling and selling. A lot of that. Look at the ticks. The ticks have been heavily underneath the zero, negative, for all day so far. And then you can see the advanced decline of stocks. They are pegged at negative 2,500. This is some heavy stuff. I think people are really freaked out or just concerned. Like there's a lot of uncertainty. We don't know what the ramifications of all this coronavirus stuff is, of all this quarantining that is going on. We don't know what's going to be happening with events being shut down, concerts are being shut down, Coachella is being shut down, South by Southwest has been canceled, people are working remotely. Uh, Italy is on quarantine. Like all of Italy is on quarantine. This is it's hard to say, is this an overreaction? Is this the news media overreacting to it and making us fear and panic? I'm sure there's a good chunk of that, but it's also our reaction to it that people just aren't going to work, aren't doing things, aren't coming out. So this is really going to put a hamper on stuff. I know people have been talking about, is this going to spark a recession? We don't know that yet. We're going to have to see how things recover. Basically, we need another month or two or so in order to see, well, did we stamp down the virus? One way that I kind of think about it is, when you have a wild forest fire and you're trying to actually stop it, and like you got a field of fire just going. What you do is you actually carve out like a very wide area that you actually burn out of it, or you cut it out, and it's a fire break. So as the fire comes along, there's suddenly a gap, and the fire can't continue to go across it. And I'm kind of wondering if this quarantine situation that everybody is just staying home and not interacting with people. In fact, people are like elbow bumping, or they're not even fist bumping. I saw a thing where in China and some other countries they're like tapping their feet instead of actually shaking hands. That maybe this would actually stop the spread of the virus, and just like a fire break. This could be an interesting thing to consider. And so, we still have not a whole lot of cases in America, and it might be because we got word of this early on, and everyone kind of puckered up and said, well, I'm not going to be doing anything, going anywhere, shaking anybody's hands. And maybe that would actually help stop this thing in its tracks, but it's going to maybe kind of make our economy suffer in the meantime. And I think that we are seeing the severe ramifications of that. And I think this is going to take some time. I don't think this is going to be a V bottom, despite how oversold we are. I'll show you all everything I'm looking at here. The market is really, really far down. This would normally be a pretty natural bounce area, and usually a pretty strong bounce area, because first of all, prices outside of the 30 ATR and prices outside of the 30 ATR on the daily chart. So really, really oversold. The other thing I look at is price is really far off of the 8 EMA. Well, price is also really far off the 8 EMA. It came back to the 8 EMA. We still have yet to actually come back to the 8 EMA on that one. And same thing, we're down here. Now, for me, what I look at with the Moxie indicator, you can see price down. Actually, I'm going to draw that better. We have price down, and we have the Moxie indicator up. But it doesn't look good, and it's not really bouncing very much. I was looking at kind of some levels here on the 15-minute time frame, bouncing up like that. They're not quite holding. So I thought yesterday was productive that we got significantly like that. I think it was just a short cover rallying, or a short cover squeeze, short cover rally. And I say to my people, again with the Moxie Trader Mastery, I said, we need to actually see price hold the 15-minute 50. And so when it came down, actually opened at the 15-minute 50, I said, cool, that's great. But I want to actually see it hold it. Right now we're holding these levels. Perhaps this will become what I call a trampoline move. We're starting to find these levels. When I talk about something on the hourly chart, I'm looking at, this is like my elf shoot thing I talk about. Here's your leg, here's your heel, here's the arch of your foot, ball of your foot, there's your elf toe. What that does is a distance between 8 and 21. I'm looking for that to kind of narrow, but it's got to happen. Just because these things set up doesn't mean that they can't eventually roll over and fail. And I think that's where we're at, is I'm seeing these things that tend to tell me that price is ready to start moving up, or at least ready to stop going down. But we need to see them actually happen, because, worst case scenario, I'm going to kind of back out, we could get some moves up like this, only to roll over again, just like that. It is possible. I feel like it's unlikely, but it's definitely possible. And maybe even we don't recover for a while. Maybe this just kind of meanders for a little bit. It's so hard to tell right now, and things just aren't really working too much. I even had to go over to the 5 and the 2 minute, which is not really my thing. I'm an end of day trader, but I know how to read this stuff. And so I look down at these lower time frame charts and say, well, when is this thing going to turn around? And I'm looking at this and I said, okay, we got our level, right? We got our previous low from yesterday and the day before. The Moxie indicator up here on the 15-minute time frame is above zero, so that's better. But then we start going down to the 5 minute, and we look at this and say, well, price is still underneath the 5 minute 50. Okay, the 8 is still underneath the 21. Okay, Moxie indicator still below zero, so nothing quite visible on that range. And then we look at the 2 minute, and today price has been going down, 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 to the previous low area. But look at this. This is the only glimmer of hope that I really kind of had. Price down, Moxie indicator up, and finally we start to get some development here, at least on this time frame. Notice that price is now finally back over the 2 minute 50. I'd like to see it actually test the 2 minute 50 and start following that to the upside. But until that kind of happens, and until we kind of see a little bit more development on the 5 minutes, this is what I'm going to be looking at. We're seeing progress, but I need to see a little bit more. We've also, on the 15 minute, we've gone from the 15 minute 50 from going downtrend to now flat. Okay, good. So that's better. That's making me happier. But again, I still need to see some stuff actually develop. People have been asking me about shorting. I think the short side is done for now. It's not the most comfortable for me right now. Everything is just so far down. There aren't really ripe opportunities. There's one, let's see, let me kind of take a look at DPZ. It was one that I was looking at. This one just has me a little bit concerned. I was trying to find something that was still in an uptrend. And while this one has moved up from our overall, what I'm concerned about is that maybe big picture, that price doesn't really want to be that far above the unsupported, price is unsupported from the daily 50. And that's what I'm looking at, that big gap, that big hole right there. Also here, price over the hourly 50, the Moxie indicator still below zero. It's what I call an inverse trampoline move. So I'm a little concerned about that. Let me show you this on I'm getting real down nitty gritty here, but I think it's important for now. Mind you, we're only kind of halfway through the day. For now, I'm not thrilled that price, had gone up and wasn't touching the 15-minute 50. You could see a very similar thing right here where price was up and it hadn't touched the 15-minute 50. So for now, I want to see price maintain itself over the 15-minute 50. And until I see that, I'm going to be a little bit nervous because if we look at LK, I had actually shorted this mid to late last week. And the very next day after I shorted it, I got stopped out because of a short covering rally. So you can see I went short right there thinking that this thing was going to break down like that. Well, it didn't. Turned around and I kind of had a feeling that it was going to be a short covering rally. And I was like, ugh. But I got stopped out. That's okay. Had to do it. I didn't want to take that much heat, so fine. But look what happened. You could see that here, price got too far away from the 15-minute 50. The next morning, it did touch the 15-minute 50, and then it did again. You can see price got too far away from the 15-minute 50, and look what it did on the hourly chart. Notice how price got too far away from the hourly 50 as well. So I started seeing that this was basically going up too steeply and outrunning its moving average support. And I said, I don't think this thing's going to last. And sure enough, it turned right around and started going down. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to capture it because it stopped me out, but my sentiment was correct, and I just like to keep showing that what the structure was, how I could see that even though I got stopped out, I kept watching it because I need to learn from these things. Like I could even recognize in the time, I was like, this doesn't feel like a typical rally. This feels like people are trying to get out, they're getting squeezed, something like that. And that's how it looks. You can see, as I'm showing again, that price was running too far away from its moving average support right there. And I think I'm a little concerned that DPZ, Domino's, is doing the same thing. So, little heads up on that one. Yeah, let me know if anybody has any kind of questions out there. We had quite a few people asking on the last one. The only like glimmer of hope I'm actually seeing is UNG. So this is kind of strange. I'm surprised. I was surprised to see UNG actually pop the other day, considering that oil has been going down for so much. So I'm not really sure what the geopolitical ramifications of this are, but I saw this coming. Because of the way I trade in the Moxie indicator, you can see price down, the Moxie indicator up. And I was like, okay, interesting. I'm surprised that UNG natural gas is starting to come up. I even saw that there was a little move here, and then I could expect that was going to fail. But what I started noticing again is, price down, Moxie indicator up. I was like, interesting. And then it took off. Now I wasn't able to capture this one because it just moved too darn quickly for the kind of trading I do. You can see, by the time I saw it right there, I was like, I don't really want to do that. So what I look for, I call this the first move. What I want to look for is the second move. So the first move is basically when price just crosses the moving average, right? It just crosses through the moving average, which is good. It's progress. It tells us that the moving average is no longer resistance, that it can actually get through it. But now I'm looking at this as at some point, I imagine price will come down. I'd like to see if it interacts with that moving average, and then maybe I can buy it and it'll keep going up from there. So I look for the pullback, not just the initiation of the move. I want the pullback. And you can see here on the daily chart, actually, let me kind of zoom in there. You can see on the daily chart that there's a little bit more development. So, here's your leg, here's your heel, here's the arch of your foot, ball of your foot, elf toe, like that. The other thing I could see is, well, price is also running right into a downtrending daily 50. Now it's making progress, and the progress is that last time it did that, it couldn't even get to or get past the daily 50. Now it's at least getting past the daily 50. So I'm like, all right, this is progress. But I'm pretty sure it's going to come back down at some point. It's going to have to interact with the hourly 50 at some point. And I might start looking at nibbling on that for whatever reason that UNG is actually taking off. I'm not quite sure because, again, oil is terribly down. Hugo, hey, you were the one asking me about USO before, right? Because I'm glad that we covered that, because this is where I was talking about before, is when we were discussing this, that we were talking right in through here, something like that. And I said, good move for now. There's a double bottom right there, and we see our divergence. But I said we got to watch out for that moving average right there as resistance. And I said we still have too wide of an 8 and 21 situation right here. And I said, I bet you anything, price is going to roll over and give you some troubles if you're trying to go long on it right there. Now, what I was typically looking for is, is this going to end up being a double bottom, or is it going to fail? And you can see here on the hourly chart that same place where it was just about to determine if it was going to be a double bottom, it didn't even flinch. It really just didn't even flinch. That it just kept going down like that. The 8 stayed underneath the 21, and it just didn't even flinch. It just kept going. And then you can see it bounced one more time right here into the underside of a downtrending hourly 50, Moxie indicator below zero, and that thing just sailed on down. Yeah, let's see. Let me take a look at that real quick. Let me bring up my other chart. Let's take a look at so stuff like this, with the market moving kind of crazily, we have to look at the lower time frame charts. So Hugo, to your point, yep, we're starting to see some stuff. I covered this earlier. I'm still waiting for the second move. So remember, it doesn't matter what time frame I'm on. I look for the second move. All right, let me keep zooming in on this because we really got to get down in here to see this stuff. So for now, we see that price has crossed the 2-minute 50. Okay, progress. But I'm seeing it will probably get rejected by the 2-minute 200 and the 5-minute 200 / the 5-minute 50. Also notice that the 8 and 21 are still, the 8 is still below the 21. So what I'd be looking at is actually price to come back down, test something like that, come down a little bit and then go up, and come down and then go like that. So I got to see what happens by the end of the day. Right now, in the middle of the day, everybody's jostling, jockeying for position, kind of figuring out where they're going to go, what it's going to do. By the end of the day, if I start seeing some developments, then great. This is basically what I wanted to see from yesterday. So yesterday, I would imagine this thing is so darn oversold that we're going to start hitting a bounce. I would like to start seeing this and this kick in, and this is the Elfschuth situation I talk about. And yesterday made progress because price got over the 15-minute 50, but I need to see price actually, stay over the 15-minute 50, and I think that, hopefully by the end of the day today, that'll happen. But we got to actually make it happen. We also have to be prepared. We got to think about both circumstances and both situations. We also have to be prepared that maybe this just kind of keeps going like this, meanders a little bit, runs into the moving average again, and then rolls over. Always a possibility. This market is pretty rough, and I don't know how strong a bounce is going to be. We're not going to be seeing what appears like a V bottom, and I don't know how energetic this might be. All right, so let me kind of just cycle back one more time through here. If you guys are looking at the 20 stocks, I think we just had one of our teammates actually post it for me, but 20 stocks for 2020, and I try to pick the ones that look good for the entire year. Everything has changed, because of this big drop. Basically, everything is now down 15%. So the good stocks that I have in here that I think will be looking pretty nice for the rest of the year, well, as long as they keep looking strong, and as long as they start picking back up from where everything left off, then I think they will continue to look good into the future, and that's what I was trying to pick out for them. And then for those of you who are interested in what we call the Moxie Trader Mastery, this is my stock picking service. So I talked to a bunch of people up here. I see actually there's people who've messaged me since then. I enjoy talking to them. It's always a fun time. And I send out alerts. I talk about the things that I'm seeing what's going on with the market. And actually, I'm seeing a lot of things kind of change right now. I'll bring that back over in a second. But this is where I also do my weekly videos. I post out the trades that I have. And then if you guys actually want to get your hands on the indicator and the entire class and how I do, simplertrading.com/Moxie stock method. So go ahead and check that out. Let me show you this one more time. It looks like things are getting a little bit better. We are at least getting out of the negative tick range, and we've softened up quite a bit here. We've gone from -23, -27 to 1 volume, like down volume, to at least now -9. So things are looking better. Okay, we're making some progress. Again, I want to see what happens by the end of the day. So we'll have to see where that all goes. Um, and then Hugo, one more time to your point, here's that level that I'm looking at, and we are starting to see some progress from the Moxie indicator. So it's gonna be tough, but it just seems to me like for now, I don't think anybody's really too much more interested in the short side, and there should just be like a natural kind of flow back up top. But we still have to be careful. There might be some more news. There's still a whole lot of uncertainty, and we don't know how this is going to continue affecting the market. So just be careful out there a little bit, and kind of keep your trades, locked in. Keep them tight. Trade smaller size. Make sure you got your stops in place because you never know what's going to happen. And we just do the best that we can. All right, everyone. I'm going to be leaving you with that. Again, if you want to be checking out anything, simplertrading.com/Moxie. So thanks again, everybody. Take care out there, and I will check you out next week. Thanks.